Welcome to Colorful Journeys of Success. Listen to and watch our fascinating guests as they share colorful stories of success and how they help inspire. Now, here's Claire, the color wheeling lady and our host.
Welcome to Colorful Journey of Success. Thanks for joining. We have a delightful lady. She's an author, she's a performer, she's a coach, she's a lot of things. And her name is Amanda McTigue, and it's my pleasure, really my pleasure, to welcome Amanda. Hi. Thank you so much for joining Colorful Journey of Success.
Super fun for me.
Oh, well, it's fun for us too. Your energy is just outstanding.
Oh, thank you.
Tell us about your shift. That's a term you used.
Right. When I'm teaching and coaching, first of all, I'm mirroring something I need as an artist. I really believe that good work comes to us, the best work comes to us, and that our biggest obstacle is ourselves, either our doubt or people have told us there's something wrong with us, and those tapes get in our way. So what I use coaching and teaching for, it doesn't matter whether it's a performer or a writer, I'm trying to shift people's state of mind out of those critical, sort of cramped up states, shift it into an open state, also shift it away from ourselves and out to the world the way a child is just out in the world. A child is not busy thinking about how there's something wrong with me. We're just fascinated with what's around us. Well, certainly that's what we want to be using and sending through our work. So that's what I do.
That's wonderful. Well, we had a little bit of it before we came here, and I want to say thank you very much because you shifted me.
Oh, I love hearing that. Makes me so happy.
You shifted my thoughts because I've been writing also, and this is one of the reasons that I wanted to have you on the show. I respected you so much after listening to you at the Writers Association.
Oh, that's great.
And you, everyone was just fascinated by you.
Well, I think it's a shame that we all come up. One thing we all have in common is that we went to school and we learned from teachers. Some of those teachers may have meant well, but they shut us down. Yes. And it seems to me if I can get us slightly more open, if you're open, you can go out and make it happen. When you're shut down, you can't. So that's what I work on.
Good point. That's a good point. And as far as writing, though, because there's, when you think in terms of being a writer, an author, there is so much to think about. There is just so much to think about.
God, that's a good thing to say. That's true. You can get very overwhelmed. So you can get too tunnel vision, or you can be such an open radar that too much is flooding in. Most people's problem is that they're not open enough. My experience is if I relax, what needs to come through first will be coming through first. And it'll find, if I just breathe, it can come through in a certain order and I can handle it. But people have different techniques. Like some people type and take notes to the side because they don't want to lose what's coming through, or they just write in notes so that they're quickly grabbing what's coming through the mind. Some people have to dictate because it's coming so quickly. So yeah, you're right. It's a very interesting challenge.
Interesting. Well, but you describe things in visuals. Talk about visuals.
Well, I use visual. So when I'm coaching, so it's different for performers than for writers. But when I'm coaching writers, I generally try to stay away from words because we're in words too much. I try to disorient people. So I use a lot of visual imagery so that I remind us that we're just trying to respond to that screen of the mind. And I also try to lead them through a sequence of thinking about those images. For instance, when you saw me work with you all, that was a class on the author's voice. But instead of starting with the author or the voice, we started with images of people we might tell a story to. So by that's a shifting of focus out of things that make us self-conscious and into a voice like talking to you. I have a way of talking to you because I'm responding to how you feel to me. If you were angry with me, if you were a little child, if you were someone who didn't hear well, I would be communicating differently. So voice is a response to, and that's an example of how I try to teach.
You know what I really loved about something the other night that you said is that if you're stuck and you just can't, you have a piece of paper in front of you, you just can't think what to write, let the paper write it.
Right. Right.
That was brilliant.
A huge shift for a writer is to stop thinking that you're the one doing the talking. In fact, the entire world, everything around us, my shoes are talking, this chair is talking, this is talking, your earrings are talking. If I interviewed your earrings, can you imagine how interesting that would be? That would be so, like, what a point of view.
I'd be rather shocked if they answered you.
Right. So we get all cramped up because we think we have to write. Just let the rest of the world talk for a second. Just take notes.
Well, actually, this tapestry that your wonderfully talented mother created, this is talking to us, isn't it?
She would be very pleased to hear you say that. Yep.
Absolutely.
It's telling
a story.
It is a work of art. And it's silly that people have those lines between craft and art. And it's a work of political art. And my mother was she was not a political woman, but she got upset about the fact that the textile mills were closing and that America wasn't making the very fabrics she needed to make quilts. And so she got involved in telling the story of a closing textile town, which is right down the road from where we lived. That's a real place. Excuse me.
Well, I love the colors and I love the design, but actually when you look at it from a piece of artwork, there's a balance. The placement of the railroad tracks, the buildings, the people, that's from an artistic standpoint. My mother was an art teacher. So,
I can tell.
And I was an art major. So, but there's a tremendous amount of balance and it carries the eye.
Oh, see, she's not with us, but hopefully she's listening. She would stand for hours moving those pieces to get them in balance,
I can imagine.
right?
And
then that's ribbon and using buttons, and she just
yes, I see that.
worked so hard. She knew fine art, so she had looked at Edward Hopper paintings and Diego Rivera murals. So, like a dog sitting to the side really quietly. She pulled from classical sources. She was an amazing woman.
Oh, wow. Well, it's kind of interesting to think about this, but maybe your mother and my mother, both artistic people, they're sitting up there in the cloud listening to our conversation.
They're like this right here, and they're like, ah.
And they're giggling at our conversation.
That is a good idea about success right there, is that pleasant thought that those who gave so much to us are at least enjoying whatever the heck we made of our lives, right?
Absolutely. So now let's see. What is your strategy? Well, I guess in a sense you have already described your strategy as a coach. You open up the mind, in a sense.
And then invite new imaginative sources. So the other thing that happens to most artists is they keep looking in the same spots. So for instance, let's get all our senses open. If you're really, really visual, right from the ear point of view, and that's just one way to think about it.
Sound.
Right.
Right?
Right. Sound, touch, and these days, because there's so much written, the more unusual the source of the imagination, probably the more unusual the work, and we need that because there are a lot of stories around us now.
Smell.
Smell, right, exactly. Right, or taste, and all of us have a sense that that we have an affinity for, and one that we don't consult much. So that when I'm teaching, I try to lead people to the things they don't normally go to.
Well, you certainly were an excellent coach and excellent teacher the other night with the Writers Association.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah, doesn't that make me feel...
I love it when two things. When people are enthused, I want to change their energy. If they didn't come away with a nice sheet of 5 things to do, that's okay with me. Did I change their energy, and did I give them ways that they can change their own energy? Did they come away feeling like, I can do this? If they don't, I'm failing. That's what a teacher's supposed to do.
No, don't feel that way though. But
well, that's a good point. Some of them won't.
It might. If they might they might come away with it, didn't register then, but maybe later on, something
point.
might trigger
Right.
that
Right.
connection.
My goal is to get them feeling like I can do. That is the goal.
And so that makes you very unique in the way you coach.
Oh, that makes me happy.
Yeah, everyone has a different strategy. I've interviewed a lot of authors, a lot of creative people, and each person has their own strategy, their own technique, and something that makes them unique. And I think all the things that you were teaching at the Writers Association meeting, that was ideal. Good. I connected very, and a lot of people that, the group of us that got together for coffee after, we connected. We were all really chatting about how you actually put paper out there.
Yeah, we did an exercise.
Nobody ever does that.
Right. I'm all about the juice. I want to get people juiced. I want them, if you guys went out and had a chat afterwards, that's what we want right there.
Well, that was a juicy conversation.
Oh, wonderful. Inspiring, that's what
it's all about.
Yeah. And so, I guess I've struggled with myself enough that I want to help people feel good about what they're up to.
Well, you achieved that. You absolutely achieved that. We have 2 minutes, and I wanted to mention something, the quote that I saw the other day, and I thought it was really great. Dare to dream and work to achieve. You've done that.
Yes, and
10 years from now, where are you going to be?
Second novel written, and a collection of short stories. And I'm a meticulous writer, so I'll have to scramble to get it done in 10. But please, that's what I'm working toward.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yay!
And I'm sure that a lot of people would be very impressed with. And this book, this Going to Solace, it's a wonderful book. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much for giving me a little bit of a coaching before we came. That I appreciate that, because I'm a struggling writer too.
Yeah, we all are. No matter how successful, that next day on the page is just as tough as the very first day.
Okay. Well, I have a lot of articles and I appreciate you encouraging me just to go ahead and publish the articles.
You bet. Well, you have amazing stories to tell, and that's the beauty of today, is that one can publish and get one story out to other people. It's wonderful.
And that's going online?
That's going online is certainly a very direct way, very, very direct. But even making books is not what it used to. It's not as difficult as it used to be, or a podcast. It's just an incredible world where there are all these channels available to us, I think.
Thank you. Amanda, thank you so much. This has been wonderful. So, if our listeners, if our viewers, if they would like to be interviewed, I'd love to talk with them. I'm always looking for talented people like yourself.
Oh, great.
Talented, interesting people. So thanks for joining Colorful Journey of Success. It's been a pleasure to have you join us. Her name is Amanda McTigue. She's a very talented author. She's a coach. She's a delightful person. She has a wonderful attitude. I love it. So have a nice day, and thank you so much. Bye-bye.